Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and this is Pathfinder Kingmaker, the enhanced edition, and I am live. Yay! On a happy Friday. And in the last episode, we spent some time dealing with some lumberjacks over here, as well as a river Nixie. But now we're going to be going back out into the world of the stolen lands because a couple of things we need to do right off the bat. We have found out more about the trolls and that there is a troll lair, but we still need to find some clues on that. I believe we might have a new area on our map here for locating the ancient outpost. And then also there is back at our barony, there is a, we need to take care of a spider plague. So we're going to do that before the stolen lands is overrun by spiders. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and enter this location. Now, before we do so, this location is a small glade in the middle of the woods in which someone has set up camp. Smoke drifts above the trees, as well as some voices and what might be laughter. Now, Zara looks at her companions and she says, "I don't believe that we have heard word of any travelers being in this area. Therefore, these are probably bandits. Let's go in and find out if they are honoring the letter of the law, shall we?" Valerie hefts her shield in front of her and says, "We shall." And she walks in, Bracken right behind her at the head of the group. Okay. So we have somebody called Shorty right here. As the party enters the bandit camp, they spy a halfling or a gnome. It's hard to tell exactly from this location. And they walk forward rather gingerly. We're going to actually sneak here because we just don't know what we're running into. Are these people trouble? Now, I love how you can just sneak in the wide open. Like, basically, you can be considered to be stealthed because you're tiptoeing. Like, that's what's necessary for sneaking is a good tiptoe. As the party sneaks up, Shorty, completely unaware that they are there, even though it's broad daylight, but whatever. Shorty says, Hey, you're leaving some for me, right? Eh? Hendrik says, "Just stand lookout like you were told." The man's voice carries the weight of command. He seems to be the leader of these bandits. His bushy beard is matted, and remnants of the last day's meals are still evident in it. Yum. A look of disgust comes over Valerie's face. "Oh, quit your whining. We always take care of our own, don't we?" says a disheveled, rotund woman with a round face. "Ha! Right you are." "Hey, when have we ever mistreated you, Shorty? Hey? When? The short, ratty man, whose filthy strands of hair do little to obscure his prominent bald spot, doesn't even try to watch the road. His eyes are locked on the side of his companions, rummaging through their most recent haul of obviously stolen loot. The bandit leader looks up and jumps with a start when he sees us. "But wait! We were sneaking. All right, so much for stealth. I have to admit that the game is correct in this particular point. You know, it is broad daylight, and I think a bunch of people in armor and a gigantic leopard sneaking across a completely open area is, you know, I mean, we're pretty much asking to get seen. The bandit leader looks up and jumps with a start when he sees Zara and her party. His sole eye, his only eye, wide in disbelief. Shorty, you ass! You were supposed to watch the road. Well, you know, we were sneaking. Shorty spins to face the party, finally noticing Bracken's presence. Hi! There's someone coming! Well, something. Well, like grab your blades! As he tries to describe Bracken and the rest of them. He yells belatedly. Zara says, well, it is as I feared. We do have bandits in the stolen lands, and they are breaking the law. Hendrik says, Hey, hold on, everyone. The bandit leader says as he sheathes his sword he'd drawn just a moment ago. And Shorty, stop your foaming. Look here, this is our glorious Baroness herself. Come now, bow down, everyone, bow down. Zara, startled, blinks at this. The bandit leader bows low, a smirk showing through his bushy beard. The rest of the bandits clumsily repeat the gesture, all except Shorty, who can only glance back and forth, unable to comprehend the situation. And Valerie says, wanting to give them a benefit of the doubt, who are you? What's going on here? Why, we're your loyal subjects. Honest bandits, the lot of us. I promise. The bandit leader's broad smile reveals a mouth full of rotted teeth. We'd been associating with the Stag Lord's band. But since you went and beat the stag out of him, we're left on our own. Yeah, our own, see? And so now you want to take us in, your grace? We'd be even better with a strong leader. Valerie says, looking back at Zara, you truly wish to enter the Grace's service. And I didn't think there was such a thing as honest bandits. In fact, those goods that are behind you, I do feel certain that they were obtained through force or thievery, or trickery at the very least. Why do you wish to enter the Grace's service? Well, you know, he says, addressing himself to Valerie, well, if you's the Grace's speaker and all. Well, see, here it is. We're ready and willing to serve, he says, his hands nervously messing about with his clothes, trying to straighten them up and picking a piece of a pork chop out of his beard and flicking it off to the side. See, we're ready and willing to serve. We'll take a pledge, an oath, you know what I mean, right now, if you want. We'll kiss your boots, we'll kiss your butt, whatever you need. We're sick to death of hiding in the woods and sleeping in the dirt. Why be bandits when we could take from traders legal like? Zara looks confused. Take from traders, and Berta says, "Oh, he means collect taxes. He means, your grace." Yeah, the rotund woman clarifies. All for the glory of your grace, of course. Oh, yes, the glory of your grace, the bandit leader says with a grin. Hey, what are you saying? Says Shorty. Shorty shakes his head in confusion. If that's the Baroness, the only job she'll have for us is noose tighteners. I say we cut it down and call it a day. Shut your trap, Shorty. I beg your pardon, Your Grace. Dumb as a doornail, Shorty is. He just joined our company but recently. I think he had too many blows to the head. That's right. Oh, Valerie says, she turns to the bandits and says, a moment, please, while we discuss this. Your Grace, she says, the very sight of these low-life scoundrels offends me. I would not trust them with your empty purse, let alone one that had even a coin within. And I fear that their method of collecting taxes would be violence, and even murder. The bandit leader, still overhearing this, says, he glances at Valerie. Hey, Berta, he says. Look at the girl in the Baroness's service. Look at how nice she looks. She's clean, she's slick, she's well, what's that word? She's well groomed, she is. You could take a lesson or 3 from her, I'd say. I mean, look at her. Her armor's all shiny, and her hair's all pretty like. Yeah. Oh, Berta looks at her with a kind of cross look. Now, well, she's not bad, all right. But would you even know what to do with her? It's all you can do to lay with me once a week. And I barely get a yawn in before you finish. I count to 3 and you're already asleep. I doubt you could sit the saddle to ride her kind. Zara gets a slightly uncomfortable look on her face. Valerie turns and looks very indignant, and Bracken sits down on his haunches, wraps his tail around his front paws with his tongue lolling out. Zara knows this to mean that he is laughing. Valerie turns back to Zara and says, "Ha! Lower than vermin," she says with a grimace. "With your permission, Your Grace, I would happily cleanse the world of this trash." Tristian says, "No, wait, hold. Even the vilest of villains deserves mercy if they want to walk the path of redemption. However, I see no remorse in these people." So we are neutral good, lawful neutral. We are lawful neutral. There we go. Zara does not trust them either. And too many bandits have attacked her, and so Bracken walks up to Shorty, and then his huge nose sniffs Shorty, and Shorty goes, Hey! And then Bracken pads back to Zara and says, "I sense no sincerity in his words. It is better that they die by the hands of their own blades. At least it gives them some dignity than hanging at the end of a noose." And Zara says, "I agree. 2 arms." Okay, so that's a lawful good action. Scoundrels like these are why the Stolen Lands gain the reputation that they have. We want to turn the Stolen Lands from being the Stolen Lands to the you can walk in here without getting your stuff stolen lands, basically. So, to battle, 2 arms. These barons always think so high of themselves. "She robs folks worse than us." And I missed the rest of that. All right, so I'm going to turn on the turn-based mod, which I love because I can turn it on at any time and turn it off at any time. It's a fantastic mod. And the new game coming out, Wrath of the Righteous, has the turn-based mod cooked in, which is fantastic. So, okay, so the bandits have their turns up first. So they're going to play those out, and they're all going for Bracken, which is what we want. So he missed all three times on Bracken. 3 misses right there. And yeah, it wasn't pretty. Bracken growls, he bares his teeth in a wide, leopardish smile. Let's go for Shorty. A miss. Well, we did some damage on Shorty, but we didn't get a trip off on him. So Jubilost, I want Jubilost to do some alchemist bombs here. Let's cast a fire bomb right in the middle of these people.
A clever ploy.
There we go. And it does not injure our combatants. Lindsay, though, let's see if we can take out, let's see, what do we have here? Ah, of course, the handy grease. Our favorite. We love it. Grease them up. Oh my gosh! Everybody except for Shorty went down. That's awesome! That is just awesome! Well done, Lindsay. I was going to have Valerie go for her, which I think I will do to start to take... But Valerie is so very... her reflex is so low that she falls the second she even looks at Grease. So I'm going to move her over there. And then Zara. Now we're just going to do the work of whittling them down. Valerie. So Valerie, I'm going to have you... Actually, you cannot charge her, so we'll just go in and take her over. And she will now be focused on Valerie, which is what we want. Zara.
Strike with all your might.
There we go. And, oh, he is trying to make a run for it because he knows he's going to be, he's trying to go for Lindsay here. And we will take care of that in a minute. It is now Bracken's turn, so let's try and take care of that. One bite should do it, Bracken. Ha-ha! All done. So now, I'm going to go ahead and turn off turn-based mode and let it auto-resolve. And there's just one guy left, and that's it. There she goes.
I'm thinking.
The party finds themselves before a glade in the wilderness. Valerie tells Zara that this part of the Gnarl Marshes is a place where wildlife thrives, being a home to a variety of beasts. This attracts many hunters, but it also scares off other travelers. Beast attacks are not rare in the area. The party comes into the area, and Bracken, lifting his nose up to the wind, he turns and says to Zara, "Wolves." Zara says, "I understand." And then he and Zara have a quiet conversation. The rest of the party hears Bracken, his tail waving lazily back and forth, and Zara listening intently and nodding. And then she says, out loud for the rest of the party to hear, "I agree, my friend. Go ahead. I will stand by and stand guard." To the rest of the party she says, "We will stay here. Bracken will handle this on his own." And then Bracken starts to pad off, and Zara says, my friend, wait." So Zara lifts her hands, and she holds them over Bracken, whispers a few words that she just read from the scroll, and Bracken is invisible. He's going to take this time to walk up Now this vanish potion won't last, well, it won't last long. It's gone by now. But I want Bracken to move very quietly. What we're looking for is we're just scouting. And let's see if we can go over here. All he's trying to do is find out what this wolf, what the wolf cubs are up to, what the wolf family is up to. Bracken is our quietest person, except for maybe Lindsay. But if trouble happens, Bracken can deal with it a lot faster. Okay, so and then Bracken takes off running. There's trouble. Did you see that? He just took off running. Woo! That was awesome. Okay, so we now have 3 wolves here, but I really, they have attacked us, but we are on their land. That's the thing that bothers Zara so much. And we're going to have to defeat these guys, but then what we need is to find out what they're eating. If they're eating humans, we need to take the whole pack down. If they're not, we'll leave them be. Bracken comes back, his tail swishing furiously, and says, "Roar! I have been seen." Bracken, can you charge any of these guys? Let's do it. Let's take on this guy here in the back so that this guy will automatically go, hopefully, for him. They're all going for Bracken. Bracken is just fine, thank you very much, and can do quite a bit of damage just on his own. Zara is going to run here, take 1 movement here, which puts her in crossbow range.
With all your might.
Valerie, I think it's time for a charge, Valerie.
Let us strike as one.
Bam! Jubilost. Okay. As she looks, she sees the bones of animals, but she does not see any humans nearby, any human corpses, and believes that she will not enter and leave the wolf pack alone. As penance for having taken down the guards in front and knowing that the pack will grieve this loss, she takes the skins of the wolves and puts them down for warmth for the kits to lay on. And so these wolf pelts, she's going to drop them. And then she's also going to leave some wyvern meat. Now this is an incredibly tasty gift for the wolves. Having dropped those things, Bracken walks over to the den area. He stands at the den and he yells the following. "Oh, I am Bracken. I have spoken. We have defeated your sentries, but we will do you no more harm. We only wanted to assure ourselves that you were not making meal of men. For our honor, we offer you the pelts of your fallen kin and rare meat for your cublings. With this, We wish you well, and will trouble you no further. And then he walks by the party and says, "Come now. We have done all that we can here." And the rest of the party humbly follow. So I'm just collecting these dots. Now we're going to head over and do Old Mesa and see what awaits us there. A light rain begins to fall. And we have, a werewolf who has obviously killed a camper. So this, we're definitely going to, let's back up here and approach this a little bit better here. This, we're definitely going to fight. So we're going to go into stealth mode here so we can get an opportunity to get a jump on the werewolf if we're lucky.
It is done.
And where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, unfortunately, he spotted Valerie, so we do not get a surprise round. But what we do get is some butt whooping. Let's do a charge here. Okay, and Bracken is going to charge and take him on right there. And then Lindsay. Let's see if you can, I just want to see if you can grease a werewolf. That's all I want to know. So let's find out. Oh, she'll have to do it in the next turn, I guess. When she has to move. Oh, no, she can. There we go. And he is... Oh, because he's held, it won't take effect. But when he becomes unheld, he'll have to do a reflex save. So, to see if he's going to fall or not. Tristian. Oh, yeah, there he goes. There goes. So, yes, you can grease down a werewolf. It sounds wrong what I'm saying. Let's grease him down, boys. I mean, there's not much. Whoa, and simple, easy does it. All right, that's the Old Mesa. It gives us a werewolf. Zara is tired. We're going to continue on, though. We want to go to the Shriek River, and we need to go to the Old Sycamore first. So let's go there. Is there any other lines that need to be? This one here. We're basically connecting the dots.
To get some rest, isn't it?
Okay, and then let's rest.
I've looked through your essays on spices. Who is this Guisa Nordicani? And why is her name on the cover next to yours?
Because some judges are corrupt scoundrels who know nothing about copyright. Co-author indeed. She scarcely sharpened my quills.
Okay, I found that to be pretty funny. Okay, so and wonderful, we have a little blessing from the jeweled rice, which is helpful. And then let's make our way kind of out of the way there, but can we cross this way? Let's cross this way. Let's go up to Thorn Ford, cross the river. We do not want to enter that. And then let's go down here to the Old Sycamore. Now, the reason we're going down to the Old Sycamore is to get some moon radishes for Boken. But if my memory serves, there should be some moon radishes nearby, and we'll just search for drunken kobolds. I believe they're up on a hill somewhere. On the way north to Oleg's trading post, the party remembers, well, Zara in particularly, remembers that she had never collected moon radishes for Boken. Since they are passing by the Old Sycamore, they decide to stop, and Bracken's nose leads the way to the moon radish patch. In it As she suspected, there are a bunch of kobold archers. It's unclear as to whether they are dead or simply asleep. Bracken touches the kobold on the ground with his nose, trying to get any sign of life out of him. The kobold goes and rolls over. Bracken says, "He is alive, at least."
Adventures await.
Zara walks over to a flame shaman. His crossbow lies on the ground next to him. She can see his breath rising and falling. She leans down and touches him gently. "Whoa, whoa, I mean you no harm." He is lying in the middle of the patch, and he lifts up his head. Judging by the sorry state of his scales, he is the eldest of the group. His red eyes squint from the light, and his throat struggles to form words. Patch. Celestial Radish. So one of the benefits of, if you're watching this later on YouTube, one of the benefits of watching me live is that you get to see all the wonderful acting I'm doing here in front of the camera, including copious amounts of tongue lolling and head wobbling. And I agree, who doesn't like a few moon radishes to munch on? They got me through college. Anyway, Lindsay curls up her nose. Yick! Radishes! We grew them back in my village. One day, I was reading a book, and my pa grabbed it from me and threw it into the fire. And then he made me go pick radishes. It was autumn, and the ground was wet and cold. She jumps up and down on one foot. And there were worms everywhere. Ugh! Filthy roots, says Lindsay. Lindsay does not think so well of moon radishes, and that memory sticks with her years later. Zara says, "If you can still speak clearly, what are you doing here?" Chew, you radish. Search for secret truths. Small and big. And one of the kobolds over on the other side lifts up a kobold claw as if to say, yeah. And they give a devout murmur. They say, chill the right. Some of the kobolds are so deeply asleep that they do not even bother answering. Zara says, "I hate to disturb your meditations, but I require some assistance. In fact, I require a few of your radishes. I don't need all of them, and I will leave half of what I dig out for you, to save you the trouble of having to dig them yourselves." The old kobold lifts his head from the ground and tries to focus his eyes on Zara. There's like 6 of her in his eyes. One kobold ear is drooping over his face. The other one is turning in weird directions, back and forth. And Oh, this is exactly what Zara would say, actually. Remember, there are enough radishes for everyone. Radishes grow freely in the forest. And as is the law of the land, as it dictates, you take only what you need. And you must not forbid others from using what grows freely. Not only that, I will take any seeds from the radishes plants and plant them again around you so that you may have more next season. The kobold is like, plant seeds more? Hey! What is that? Oh, look. It's a flying kobold. It's the saint of kobolds. Oh, a little dragon. Oh. Zara looks back at Bracken, smiles, and then says, I'll take that as a yes. So we're going to do diplomacy. We did succeed, thank goodness, because if we didn't, I'd have to replay some of that. The old kobold remains silent. Zara thinks he's passed out, but then suddenly he rolls over slowly, wrinkling his little forehead. He tries to lift himself up by sticking his bottom straight up in the air, and ends up basically staying that way, finding it to be quite comfortable. Bottom in the air and head on the ground. Bottom wobbling. Finally, in this most undignified position, he lifts one claw, as if giving an imperial decree. He says, "You chew and let chew. That is the way of the nature, or something. I have go, Radish, all right." Pleased with his verdict, he settles himself more comfortably, but still up in the air. And the other kobolds break out into delighted hissing. The old one has spoken. And then, thinking that the old one has discovered a new method for prayer and contemplation, they all manage, it takes a couple of minutes, but they all manage to align themselves butt skyward and head downward so that all you see among moon radishes are a bunch of cobalt butts and happy, happy faces. So I think that's it. We can take a radish now, I think. Yes. So Lindsay says, I don't want to have anything to do with radishes. You pick them. And Jubilo says, I am not interested in getting my hands dirty. Valerie says, I'll help. And she walks over and takes a couple of radishes. And Tristian takes a few as well. Zara takes just one for herself. Did I take a radish? I can't tell. Oh, we already have some. Okay, we did pick some. Okay, got it. We have a moon radish. So we have a bunch of moon radishes right here. Awesome. And there's nothing else we need to do. We pick a fair amount. And the kobolds, little tails wave from their backsides. And as Zara and her party walk away, they see Kobold tail waving in the gently. The grass waves, the leaves wave, and the tails and bottoms of kobolds wave, and nature is content. For those of you guys who are watching me live, hang out with me we are not done with the live stream. However, we are going to wrap up this episode with that very amusing kobold story. And in the next episode, we're going to continue north, taking care of various business as we make our way to Oleg's trading post. And then we will continue on with the trouble with trolls. But I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode. If you enjoyed what you saw of a Pathfinder Kingmaker, the enhanced edition, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved it, join the party and subscribe. I'll see you back here for more awesome Pathfinder Kingmaker in the next episode. And thank you, as always, for watching.